Welcome to KetoMealsAndRecipes.com. This is a how-to video which will use my keto sugar cookie recipe for the pizza dough base, and I will also use the chocolate truffle recipe. I use this recipe quite often, as you may have noticed. The reason is because I prefer the nutritional value and macronutrient ratio of my truffle recipe over just melted chocolate and cream. So let's get started in making this keto dessert pizza. The macronutrient ratio for this recipe is 3:1, with 8.1 grams of total carbs, 3.7 grams of dietary fiber, resulting in 4.4 grams of net carbs per slice. The first step in making this dessert pizza is to make a full batch of my keto sugar cookie recipe as per the instruction. A link will be provided in the description below. I used a regular size pizza pan, a 30 centimeter or 12-inch pan, and lined it with cling wrap, which I overlapped to make it really wide. Place your cookie dough in the center and then press the dough onto the lined, cling wrapped pizza pan. Then press down with light pressure to even out the thickness and smooth out the surface. I find using the bottom of a glass or this kind of measuring cup the best. When you've done this, cover the dough well with another piece of cling wrap to seal the dough well. Refrigerate for about 30 minutes so that your dough can become nice and chilled. Then remove this from the fridge and grab your cling wrap to slide the chilled dough off the pan. Then line the pan with parchment paper just on the bottom. Invert the pan and place it over the dough that is still on the cling wrap, and using the cling wrap for support, flip the dough back into the pizza pan and peel off the cling wrap. I forgot to mention, preheat your oven to 150 Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit. Place your cookie dough pan into the lower third position of your oven and bake for 30 minutes. Then, without taking it out, open the oven door, place an oven mitt or some other thick item to keep the door just slightly open. Leave the cookie pizza base in the oven for about 1 hour, and this will allow your cookie base to harden to just the right texture. Your cookie exterior will be nice and crispy while the interior is moist. Then remove the pizza pan from the oven and let the cookie cool to room temperature in the pan. While your cookie base is cooling, I prepared my chocolate truffle recipe. As described per my recipe, when my chocolate truffle is done, set the bowl aside to leave the chocolate enough time to cool to room temperature. The link for this is also provided below. The next step is to prepare the cheesecake layer. Into a mixing bowl, add the whipping cream, room temperature ricotta, confectionery sweetener, lemon zest, room temperature cream cheese, and the freshly squeezed lemon juice. Whip at high speed until you have a smooth and creamy mixture. And don't forget to taste for sweetness and lemon flavor. This is the time to adjust both if you want to, but don't make your cheesecake too sweet because there's a substantial amount of sweetness in the chocolate and the fruit. The optional step is to add 1 or 2 more drops of pure lemon extract, because I wanted a little bit more tartness than a cheesecake to balance the sweet flavor of the fruit. If you needed to make any adjustment, whip well to combine the flavors again. And note that the mixture might be slightly lumpy looking. That's because of the ricotta, but in spite of the ricotta lumpiness, it has a smooth, flowy consistency. Set this aside for a moment. While your cookie base is still warm, score the cookie base into either 6 or 8 slices, depending if you want your final product to have 12 or 16 pieces. And after you've scored, pour the prepared room temperature chocolate truffle liquid onto the cookie surface. But don't spread all the way to the edges. Leave a bit of visible rim all the way around, just like a pizza would have, but use a spatula to spread out the chocolate to form an even layer. Place this back in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes so that the chocolate has time to harden. This will make it much easier and less messy when you add the cheesecake layer. Now it's time to spread the cheesecake topping over the chocolate layer. Again, leave your cookie rim visible and spread only over the surface where the chocolate is. Now it's time to arrange the strawberries over the surface of the cheesecake layer. I cut relatively thin wedges of strawberries. I started by placing the wedges along the perimeter first, then added 1 more interior row at a time, moving inward to close the circle until I was done. Then I arranged the blackberries between the strawberry wedges because there are not that many blackberries. Then I decided to put the raspberries in the perimeter between the strawberries. And since I had a few more, I placed them in the center section as well. And as you can see, I arranged the blueberries between the strawberries. But this is just the way I chose to decorate. You can decorate any way you like. and this is how my basic keto pizza looks like. Usually I'd stop at this point and just serve it this way. But because I was serving it to people who really liked my chocolate truffles, I decided to drizzle more chocolate on top. This drizzling chocolate on top is completely optional. We really like this extra layer of chocolate on top, but it doesn't make for the best looking photos. So to achieve a nice thin ribbon of chocolate, I place my extra chocolate truffle liquid into a piping bag, but if you don't have one, just take a small Ziploc baggie, squish it to a corner, and cut a very small opening. I started drizzling at the exterior and made small circles going inward. When you're done, whether you add the chocolate or not, you should refrigerate the pizza for at least 30 minutes before serving. This time is needed for the cheesecake to set and for all the flavors to infuse. However, I have found that the best flavor is achieved if I allow the finished dessert pizza to rest overnight. This allows the flavors to develop fully. When it's time to serve, I cut each of the eighths I scored into half again, and this makes for 16 pizza slices. At first you may think that these pizza slices are very small, but this is a very rich and amazingly satisfying dessert. Everyone I've served it to has agreed that a 1/16 slice size was quite filling, especially if this is served after a meal. Now that I've shown you how easy it was to make the cookie base for this dessert pizza, I would like to recommend that you perhaps watch and make a number or monogram cake that uses the same basic methodology, and it's a really beautiful cake. I hope you will try this dessert pizza soon. I would really like it if you'd let me know what food you've topped it with, and if possible, send me a picture. Enjoy! Thank you very much for watching this video. I look forward to sharing more recipes with you very soon. If you want to be notified when I post my next video, turn on your notification bell and help our channel grow by sharing this recipe with your family and friends. The link for the printable recipe for this dessert pizza, as well as the sugar cookie and truffle chocolate, will be provided in the description below.